She sat in the 30s throughout the entire year. Was she seeking consultations? What was happening? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Presh and I am finally back on your screens. I know it's been a while. I was taking a bit of a breather, but I am back and excited to start making content again. So I have started a new series called, I don't know what it's called, but basically I will be looking into some past student data to identify trends so that students currently can learn from these trends. They can be realistic. I think that was the biggest thing when making this video. I know when you're a student, you think that, you know, you're hoping for miracles, you know, and I think it's important for students to know what's realistic, what's not realistic, you know. If I start with this mark, am I going to pass? So I want us to have a look at this student who started off with 20% for financial accounting in CTA, and I want us to look at how she gradually went through the year and to see whether she passed or not. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this video. I'm very excited to get into these data insights. Maybe that's what the series will be called. A quick shout out to Gap Learning. If you're an accounting student and are looking to book an accounting tutor, are looking for academic summaries, or are looking to listen to podcast audio notes on the go, visit gaplearning.co.za. It has all of your academic solutions. Honestly, it's really like a mentor holding your hand if you're on the journey of qualifying as a chartered accountant. Let's start off with a bit of context. So with this particular student, she had 5 assessments or areas that counted towards her year mark. There was an assignment, there was test 1, test 2, test 3, and test 4. So let's see whether she passed the year. So for her assignment, which is basically home-based, she had about a week or 2 to do the assignment at her own pace, to do the research. The student got 62%, right? I think this could have been better, especially since, you know, you're sitting with all the resources, you can liaise with other people to see what else they've written. But that's fine. She started with 62%, and then she sits for her first test. So it's not necessarily an exam, it's just a test. It's in around February, and for this test, she got 24.5%. Financial accounting is tough, you guys. Like, listen, I feel like I've seen lower marks for financial accounting in my test 1s. The student is also in CTA, so there is a transition from undergrad to postgrad, and it's just a shocker. I feel like lecturers also kind of make it difficult on purpose, just to give, you know, students a reality check nyana, so that they can wake up and see the level of testing that's required. But this is what that student got for test 1. Then moving gradually along to the April tests or assessments or exams, whatever you want to call it, or test 2s, and the student got 34.5%. So not even about a 10% increase from test 1. Yes, it's a good increase, and I know that the focus should be on improvement, but is it enough to push the student over at the finish line, right? I always advocate for pushing and putting in as much effort in the beginning so that towards the end you're not relying on that exam mark. So the student already starting really slow and really low. She is still in the 30s, hasn't pushed past 40%, which for me, honestly, I would be starting to get a little nervous. Then we go on to the June assessment, and the student gets 35% for the mid-year exams. The June exams are generally harder than the hardest throughout the year. So the student got 35%, again below the 40% mark. I don't know, I feel like I would be starting to worry now. This student still has not seen a pass yet. So then we go on to the September assessments, which is the final assessments before the final exam. So this is basically the last marks that will be contributed to the final marks, right? So the student got 39% in September. So this is about a less than a 10% increase from June, but an increase nonetheless. So one positive thing is that the student saw improvement throughout the year, which is amazing, but the improvement just wasn't enough. The student ended up with a year mark of 30%, 37%, and unfortunately qualified for a supplementary exam and did not pass financial accounting. If you're sitting in the student's position, I think a bit of some takeaways and some lessons that we could learn here is that yes, improvement is enough, but there needs to be quite a significant improvement as well, right? So yes, I know everyone keeps saying you need to see improvement, you need to see improvement, but how much improvement? I don't think you should get complacent if you see a 5% improvement. Is 5% even enough? As you could see in the student's situation, yes, she improved throughout the year, but she just didn't push past to the 30s. She sat in the 30s throughout the entire year. Was she seeking consultations? What was happening? Why was she so complacent with this? At the same time, CTA is so challenging, so maybe she was doing everything, but she wasn't targeting the problem areas, which is something I always advocate for. Sit and see where your problem areas are. Don't just go willy-nilly, eyes closed, moving forward without actually targeting what is wrong. So yes, the student did not pass. I hope it's also giving you a bit of reality, because I know we often get reminded, which is not a bad thing, right, of the situations or the times where things can turn around for the better, even drastically. So say you're sitting with a 20% and you're told, oh no, I sat on 20%, but I still passed the year. Yes, it's possible, but how often does it happen? Is it realistic? Are you seeing the amount of improvements that you need to pass? If you're sitting in this position, maybe consider really consulting, moving forward, reaching out for help, speaking to your lecturers, identifying your problem areas, just doing more to get out of the 30s. I think the student definitely was way too complacent in the 30s. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until my next video, bye.